Very pleased to be joined now on the back of some very exciting news around these parts in the baseball community. He is John Milton, program advisor with the Okotoks Dawgs, as we get ready for the Road to Okotoks, a big thing happening with Canadian baseball that is going to culminate with a tournament in Okotoks, Alberta in the summer of 2026. John, exciting times. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well, and thanks for having me on, Peter. You're right; it is exciting times, and as Baseball Canada has mentioned in the press release, it's a beginning of a new era in amateur baseball in Canada.
And we are coming off of an era that's pretty successful already, and to see it being built on now is very exciting. So I guess the road to Okotoks, we got regional qualifiers happening May 28th to June 31st, 2026, and then the national championship for the Morneau Cup, which I love the name of, happening in Okotoks in July. I guess from your perspective and everything that goes into this, how did this all come together, and how big is this for something like this to be coming to Okotoks and here in Southern Alberta?
This has been something that's been many years in the making, and there's been many hands that have played a part in making it happen. A lot of kudos goes to obviously Baseball Canada, um, Jason Dixon, Greg Hamilton. I remember years ago, Greg and I having a conversation about this. Um, and it was going to be a little bit different of a format, but the same principle. We were very committed to the academies and also the elite travel programs coming together and having one major tournament because there was nothing for them.
Mhm.
Uh, let's fast forward now. Our dogs managing director John Arcandia kind of picked up the ball and ran with it, and now we're partnering with Baseball Canada in this event, and it's going to be huge for. And I spoke about Canada, and it's going to be a new era for amateur baseball in Canada, but I think the fact that the WBSC, which is the world organization, governing organization for baseball and softball, just this week put out a release mentioning the road to Okotoks. So
Mm.
for a small town of Okotoks to be getting mentioned on the world stage, I think that's huge for baseball, not just here in Okotoks, but Alberta, Canada, and obviously across the world.
Yeah, and I love that this is going to bring more of a spotlight to what's happening out here. And obviously, like there's a bias here. You can see the sweater that I'm wearing.
Yeah, I got to.
Yeah, yeah. We know our fashion, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
But I do play by play for the Okotoks Dogs and all of that. So I certainly have a side in this whole thing. But to see how things have progressed, not just with the Dogs program and the amazing facilities out at Seeman Stadium, but then you look at the Major League Baseball draft, and Alberta's coming up a whole lot more. And the people from the Dogs Academy have a lot more social media work to do.
Mhm.
And I remember on draft day, when I was filling in on Sportsnet 960, we had a draft guy on, and he wrote a story about Canadians that were going in the Major League Baseball draft. And before, that's a post-it note. Now it's a big story, and just to see the progress that has happened there, and now to be able to build on it, it has to be just so exciting for you to watch all this kind of grow and develop.
Oh, absolutely. We just have to actually look at just yesterday in the Major League playoffs. We had Andrew Kittredge, a former
Mhm.
Okotoks Dog, starting for the Cubs. Mike Soroka from Calgary, pitching. The reliever from the Guardians,
Mhm.
from Edmonton, pitching. So it again, it's huge for the it's huge for local baseball. It's huge for the province to have this. And the other thing too is I think the exposure to the community, of and even just the Alberta itself is going to be great for
Mhm.
all the interest parties.
And so for to be able to host something like this, I would imagine, like obviously, like you said before, it's not just, hey, do you want to have a tournament? Do you want to have a tournament? Let's have a tournament. That there's a lot that goes into it. But I'm sure all that work kind of pays off when you get to kind of show off everything that's going on at Seaman Stadium and with the field house and everything like that.
Oh, absolutely, and especially with all the renovations that we have going on, the expansion of our hitting and pitching lab, and Seaman Stadium and Tourmaline Field. Obviously Seaman being the crown jewel,
Hmm.
and I think it's a ballpark that I think when you get there and you experience it, you go, this is like a minor league ballpark, and the excitement that and the buzz in there. I remember the first time that I was in the stadium, I kind of likened it to Thunder Bay. I was at the World
Mm.
Championships in Thunder Bay, Friday night, Canada, Cuba, and it was electric. And the sizzle and everything that goes into the stadium and the people there, it really it compares. And I think that this event's going to be perfect
Hmm.
for Seaman Stadium and for Tourmaline, and it's gonna show that not everything is. And I come from the east. I'm originally from Ontario, now in Alberta. But it's going to show that what we have great facilities out here
Hmm.
in Alberta, and that our facilities are world class.
Yeah, and that's something like I grew up in a baseball household. My dad was president of minor ball in my hometown,
Yeah,
and so to get all that attention on the sport here, I absolutely love it. But I remember my first time going through and doing the tour of everything and seeing it. Like the ballpark is stunning. It's exactly what summer should be like, basically. And then you walk through the field house and you see all the different facilities they have, and then you hear, oh yeah, we're doing renovations and improvements. It's like where? Because I grew up and we played on a gravel ball diamond, and you had the pitching machine where just a yellow ball slowly goes through and poof, right at you. And then to see all of this, I guess obviously when you get to the level that you guys have with the dogs, there's obviously you have to be able to accept like, hey, we've done pretty well, but there does seem to be a we need to do more. We need to do more. How can we keep growing? Where does that kind of growth mentality come from?
well, that comes from our managing director, John Arcandia. John is on us every day. How do we get better?
Mm.
And he really challenges us, and he gives us the latitude, and he gives us the resources um, uh, to do that. So really, that's the driving force right there, and also too the people that we have on staff, led by our general manager Tyler Hollick. Again, it's a passion, but we also want to make sure that we're doing what's right for the dogs, and and right for our players. And that was one
Mhm.
of the driving forces behind the new renovations that you see, and the expansion of our weight room and our pitching and hitting lab.
When looking at something like this, it does really seem like once that ball gets rolling, success can kind of build on itself, right? Like you have this gorgeous ballpark, people come out to it. You now have funding to kind of help the players out a little bit. They,
Sure.
in turn, get better, bring more success. That brings in all the other financial stuff. And then all of a sudden, you can kind of build on those sorts of things. I guess for you, being around the organization, was there kind of a light bulb moment like, oh, this is working now, sort of a moment for you?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's when you see the success that our teams have had, our academy teams have had, and our obviously our WCBL
Mhm.
team has had. You look at this year, our 18U academy team was ranked number 2 in North America. Again, we talk about Okotoks being a small little town, but again, we're getting recognized on the national stage and international stage.
Mhm.
Um, with our WCBL franchise, obviously, the amount of championships that we had, we went 3 in a row. We came up a little short this year for 4, but we're already in the process of planning and recruiting and getting better. And I think it's those moments right there that really drive us and to get better. But I think the one thing that we always try to do is again, I go back to what John always says to us is how can we get better? How can we get better? What do the players need to get better? And those are the kind of moments that really drive us.
Hmm. And then with all of that, and now with something like this, back to the road to Okotoks and the Morneau Cup, something like this where scouts can all kind of just congregate, right? Like it is, there's access to a lot of video and a lot
Yeah.
of everything now, but it's still when you can make a scout's job easier, and all of a sudden instead of one or two prospects, now there's 50 or 100 or something like that. People are going to flock, and just being able to bring that attention now, how important is kind of that in the next step, and like you said, the next era of baseball, not just in Okotoks but in Canada.
Oh, it's going to be huge. Having not just the professional scouts coming in, but the college recruiters coming in as well.
Mhm.
Um, because, obviously, not everybody's going to be a pro ball player coming out of high school, and with the draft being kind of shrunk to 20 rounds, that's something that really we really need to look at. And also too, it's what. Yeah, we're very well known on the international and national stage, but there's still some that still don't understand who we
Mhm.
are and what we do, and there's going to be some that don't understand how great the facilities are here. So having them all kind of come together for this road to Okotoks is massive, and it's massive for the community and for the province.
Yeah, and it always strikes me when you see a guy come to the Dogs team, the collegiate level team, and they're their own guy from their team one year, and then the next year, all of a sudden, there's two or three from that school that are coming in, and
Yep.
now four or five, and then all of a sudden, half the team's from Reinhardt or something like that. Like it is always noteworthy how it kind of starts with one, and then okay, well, I want to get in on that, and you got Matt Stairs. Okay, I'll talk to Matt Stairs, and now
Absolutely.
it sort of builds. And I guess again, just it does feel like this has all just been blowing smoke so far, but I cannot express how just mind-boggling it is to walk into that facility every day, to see the work that is going in, to see the progress, and then to see kind of the proof of concepts, like those players coming
Mhm.
in, the Dogs Championship, the academy teams going out and just running shop in every tournament down in the States and everything like that. That proof of concept has to, I understand, like you said, where there is, how can we get better every day, where we're trying to improve. Do you get a moment to kind of step back and go, man, we're kind of killing it right now?
Yeah, that's usually about the third week in August. We have about a few days where we celebrate everything that we did. This year we had our 15U and our 13Us represent Alberta at the Baseball Canada National Championships, and obviously with our WCBL team and our 18U. But yeah, you know what? You usually get a few days to figure it out, and then after that, it's constant planning, and I think that's really where we kind of separate ourselves. You mentioned Matt Stairs. Matt is actually currently with our 18U program as they travel the Western U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Playing U.S. colleges and universities. So yeah, we don't take a lot of time to relish in it, because I think if we do, and this is one thing that I really applaud our group for doing, is that we really don't sit on our laurels. We really look at each other, and we push each other, and it's okay. Yeah, we may have had 63 wins for our 18U program. How can we get to 64, 65?
Mm-hmm.
And we're always kind of pushing for that.
And there are other programs around that are pushing now as well, not just down in the States, but here. A lot of people, and again, like the Dogs aren't the first ones to do this, but just doing it very well. But you see a lot of the programs like Vauxhall, which has been
Yeah.
around for a long time and has a good reputation, but they've been very strong. Prairie Baseball Academy, and
Mhm.
I think it is noteworthy that the Saskatoon Berries, when they launched a couple of years ago, one of the very first things was, oh, and by the way, Academy. We
Yep.
want to kind of build this pipeline. And so while it is, yes, the Dogs have done this very, very well, but the folks down in Lethbridge and out in Saskatchewan aren't going to let you rest on your laurels because they're coming just as strong, right?
That's correct. And this is, when I talk to people about the academy programs that we have out here in the West, one of the things I like to talk about is that I think it's great for us to have those programs being successful. I think
Hmm.
if they're successful, that just makes us even better. And it makes us, drive even harder
Yeah.
to become better, and it's better for the game and for the players in the province.
Yeah, rising tides, right? Like that competition makes you guys want to be better
Absolutely.
and better for all the players, right? Like I made the joke before about how only a couple kids get drafted from Canada in the beginning, and now that number is growing. While I do think obviously that there's been a lot of work that has gone into it, I do think that there was also missed opportunities feels a bit harsh, but there has always been talent up here. And now for it to get that opportunity to cultivate a little bit more, get those bigger opportunities,
Yep.
to go to bigger schools in the States and bigger tournaments, like all of that, like you said, it's not just for the Okotoks Dogs or not just for the Lethbridge Bulls, but it is for
Correct.
Canada baseball and the growth of the sport in this country as a whole.
Yeah, and that's the way that I think this is what really makes Canada unique in terms of the baseball structure and how close knit we are. A lot of us really believe in how can we make it better, obviously for ourselves, but
Mhm.
how can we make it better for us on the national stage? And the more Canadians that we get at U.S. schools playing professional baseball. It will make it better for the game in general.
And so with this tournament now, with the road to Okotoks and all of that, if we're in the ears and under the eyes of some people who want to get their teams involved in this and all of that, how can people, I guess, kind of get involved from a team and a competition standpoint, and maybe just want to help out with the tournament around here as well?
In terms of the teams, there's the Road to Okotoks website at the roadtookotoks.ca. All the information is there. There's going to be a player portal for players from their teams to register starting, I believe, around early November. And all the registration information is going to be on there. Some teams have been identified already
Hmm.
for the regional qualifiers. Um, but that's how players and teams can go to register. In terms of volunteer assistance, we need a lot of it, and we're many hands make light work. So if anybody has some time and they want to volunteer, obviously you know what, contact our office, reach out to our office, and you can find all that information on dogsbaseball.ca. But also, too, we're going to be uh, launching our ticket program coming up in the next month. So for those of you that want to come, watch our Okotoks Dogs play, or any team or just see some great baseball, we're going to be announcing our ticket packages very shortly.
And again, there is a bias here, but I've never met anyone who's gone to a game out in Okotoks and yeah, it was okay. Like it is always
Oh,
such a great experience and everything around it. And now to add on to it, that some of the best players in the country coming to one spot for a few days, it's going to be such an amazing atmosphere and everything with that. With you guys now, I always feel weird asking this question. This is an amazing accomplishment and a big milestone and something to work toward. And so it's like you said, you get this, okay, congratulations. What's next? So what is kind of what would you like to see next in the progression of everything with the academy and the dogs as a whole? You guys have the renovations happening with the field house again this year and everything like that. Are we, like I said, you're running out of things to improve at that place. Are we building a dome? 45,000 seats out. We're just getting rid of the highway out there. Like what's next for you guys?
Well, I mean, we're always looking at stadium renovations.
Hmm.
How can we make it better for our fans? And that's something that we're definitely looking at right now. A couple of different areas that we're presently looking at. Increasing a little bit of the capacity, because it's sometimes, as you see on Canada Day and opening day, it's pretty packed, and so we're looking at some different areas where we could add some additional seating. Um, and then we're looking at, how do we make things better at the stadium for our fans, and just, that fan aspect. And our fans are everything to us. And Will
Hmm.
Gardner says it all the time, and he's bang on. We have the best fans in the world,
Yeah.
and the most loyal fans in the world. So, I think we always need to take care of them, and that's one of the things, some of those creature comforts that that our fans are looking for, and how can we make the experience better for them?
Hmm. I guess for you, like that, obviously the focus is on the dogs, but there is, again, that community aspect and everything with the expansions and with all of that. Is it tough to kind of have, I guess, growth mindset of looking to expand and looking to be bigger and looking to do all these things? But we do have to understand we have a core community here that we have to kind of treat to as well and not, I guess, not try to outgrow what we already have with those people. Is that kind of a tough balance to walk?
Yeah, you know what? We want to still make it a homey experience and
Mhm.
very small and intimate, and we want to make sure that we're visible to our fans and we want to make sure that excuse me that they're always happy. Um, will there come a time when it's we've maxed out? Excuse me, I don't know. I think we still have a lot of road there ahead of us.
Mhm.
If it's not so much on at Seeman Stadium, is it Tourmaline? We've got some exciting things planned there, especially built around the Morneau Cup and the road to Okotoks. So there's going to be some renovations going on there as well. So yeah, I mean, there might be a time when we get maxed out, but I think that's a long time off yet.
That's fair. I guess now for you, what does the winter hold? Based on the wonderful country that we live in, there are some limitations to what baseball things can happen as we go into the colder months and everything like that. So, in terms of getting ready for this tournament, in terms of getting the kids ready for another season and all of that, well, what do the next few months have before we kind of thaw out again?
I think the next few months are the critical months.
Mm,
Um, if we talk from the road to Okotoks perspective, I mean, this is when the planning and the work has to get done.
right.
You don't want to be like I was in high school where I left everything to the last minute and crammed and basically just barely got by because that's not how we run things. Everything that we do is going to be first class. Um, in terms of our athletes, it's a critical time. It's you're
Mhm.
just finishing up, your fall season, which will end, somewhere in early November, and then it's getting on strength conditioning, dieting, all those different types of things, and with our $1 million new weight room that we have that compares to anything
Mhm.
at a D1 program. Our athletes are going to have the best of everything going forward, and our strength and conditioning staff are just outstanding. So that's where our athletes are. And then obviously, once we get into the January time period, then it's go time. Now
Yeah.
that's kind of our spring training, just an extended period. And then really we want to hit the ground running come really kind of end of March, beginning of April.
Yeah, I loved how this was put one time where the off season is like you hear all the time, oh, I live for baseball, eat, sleep, and breathe baseball, all these things, like this is my focus, this is my life. It's like, okay, that's easy to say when we're playing every game playing games every day. Those are the fun things. This is
Mm-hmm.
where you get to prove that this is the life, that this is what you want to be doing, and this is where you make those improvements. It's the time where you do lift all the weights and the dieting, which is obviously the parts where I struggled with. It was just strength training, dieting, and talent. Aside from that, I was right there. But this is kind of that time where it's okay. You say you breathe this stuff. Show us that this is where you can make a lot of those improvements.
Absolutely. To me, it's a separator. This
Hmm.
is what's going to separate you. This is going to separate the athletes that are going to be elite athletes and the ones, like you said, that they like. I always compare it to there's guys that like the game and there's guys that love the game.
Hmm.
And the ones that love the game do the extra. And this is their time.
Yeah.
So, and it goes, again for our office staff too. This is where we're gonna like it or we're gonna love it, and we're very fortunate that we have a lot of people that love it,
Yeah.
and so we're gonna make this upcoming off season. It's gonna be a busy one for us on many fronts, but we're really excited and really proud to be hosting an event like the Road to Okotoks.
Well, and that pride comes through, and to have it rewarded with something like this it's really exciting for baseball fans around here. I love that this is something that's happening, and it does feel like while we've had a lot of progress, it feels like the start of something very, very big. John, thank you so much for all the work you do with the sport here in Alberta, and thanks for taking some time today in what is again your off season. Thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Great. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.